medicine, we've got AI diagnostic tools that are dramatically changing the rates at which we can find and then treat many different conditions. I used to be a champion of data-driven decision-making, but it doesn't need me now. AI can make really good decisions, often better than we do. But there is still a problem. AI is so good that we adopted it widely, quickly, rightly. Decisions that used to require a person, a caseworker or a loan officer, someone at the front line, started happening inside systems. We've all become really used to getting fast results, a quick answer, and AI can do that consistently and at scale. And that's happened and has shifted something inside organisations and governments that's quite easy to overlook. The shift is that authority has moved. The power to decide has migrated upwards and inwards. It's migrated into models, and it's into the small team who design and control them. It's migrated away from the front line, from the people who know the customer and the patient, away from people who know things that don't appear in any data set. And this is one of the most profound shifts in decision-making in our lifetimes. It's not about data-driven decision-making anymore. It's about how we take responsibility for decisions. And very few organisations have shifted with it. Here's where a new piece of research should worry every leader in the room. A very recent study from the Wharton School have published a study on cognitive surrender. They ran 10,000 trials with about 13,000 participants. What did they find? When AI is available, many people stop thinking critically at all. They adopt AI outputs with minimal scrutiny, and they override their own intuition and judgment. Participants who have high trust for AI have 3.5 times higher odds of following AI advice, even when it was deliberately made obviously wrong. Think about what that means. It means that when authority shifts within a system, it doesn't just take decisions away from the front line, it also takes critical judgment away too. People stop questioning and they defer. AI adoption is combining authority drift with cognitive surrender. When decisions move into systems, two things get left behind: accountability and context. Context is that specific knowledge that lives close to the work. The caseworker who knows the neighbourhood, the nurse who knows that this patient understates their symptoms when they're anxious. That knowledge is pretty hard to put into models. It doesn't often live easily in the data sets that we're using. And when the people who hold it lose their authority to act on it because the system has already decided, then that important context disappears from the decision entirely. So let me give you a clear example at a government level. In Australia, the government ran a program called RoboDebt, and I apologise, Mr. Morrison, about this example, but it's a good one. The idea was straightforward: automatically cross-check welfare payments against income tax. Use the data, be efficient, scale it up. It seemed like a data-driven decision-making example that I would have taught, right? And it was. It was a really good idea. The problem was the model had a flaw. The maths was just a bit wrong. And because it was automated, the wrong equations ran at scale. Experienced welfare caseworkers would probably have spotted this in a week if they'd seen it one-to-one with their clients, because they know how their clients actually live, and they would have spotted that there was a mistake somewhere. The knowledge did exist, it just wasn't in the room anymore. The system had replaced the people who held the knowledge. And so the system sent out hundreds of debt notices, hundreds of thousands of debt notices, actually, I should say, to people who didn't owe money, who were told they did, and who had to prove that they didn't. And some fought the system for years, while others gave up and just paid. This actually wasn't a technology failure, and it wasn't a bad idea, but it was a failure of accountability design. When it went wrong, no one could answer for it. Officials pointed to the model, ministers pointed to the process, but the system decided is not accountability. It's what accountability sounds like when it's been abandoned. And of course, this is not unique to Australia. Versions of robo-debt are playing out right now in organisations and governments all across the world at different scales. Now, I'm not so concerned that models have errors. Life is full of errors. Models will always have errors. The problem comes when there's no one around who notices them and can fix them. At Melbourne Business School, we're doing research investigating some of these issues, and a colleague of mine, Professor Nicole Gillespie's, run multi-country studies with more than 48,000 people on how people form and lose trust in AI systems. Surprise, surprise, trust does not reside in algorithms. It attaches to institutions, to leaders, fundamentally to people. When an algorithm fails, the public doesn't blame the software, they blame the organisation that deployed it. And the single factor that most reliably sustains trust is visible human oversight. Not a line in a policy, but oversight that is real and can be seen. People will accept AI making decisions. What they won't accept is no one who's answerable for them. Our data shows that Australians are still less trusting of AI than similar countries, and robo-debt is one of the reasons. That's the cost of this accountability gap, an ongoing reputational erosion of public belief that institutions are working in their best interests. My old job of persuading people to use data is pretty much complete, but it's not any good swapping unthinking data skepticism for unthinking AI adoption. Data and automated decisions are a great tool, but a poor master. So I want to leave you with two things that I suggest you go away and do. First, name the person. Every important AI decision in your organisation should have a person who is responsible for the output. Not a team, not a committee, dear Lord, not a committee. No, an actual person who can stand up and say, we made the call, this is what it produced, and I will take responsibility for it. If you can't name a person now, you've got a gap, and you need to find it before something else does. Second, protect the override. Your people have to have real authority to override what's happening. If the answer is, I think this is getting it wrong, and you don't have the ability to override it, then something's wrong. AI can make the decision, only a person can answer for it. We are in two races right now. The race to build AI capability, and I've spent my life on improving the quality of those models. I'm excited about it, it's real and it matters, but there's a second race. That race is to make sure that when AI takes on decisions, the humans running our organisations remain genuinely accountable. These two races are not in conflict. You can win both, but only if you run both. Thank you.
And now it's time to turn to another special panel. Yes, it's time, of course, for some cross-cultural and regional relations talk and a dialogue on this issue of what's coming next for South Asia. We're, of course, being joined by members of parliament from all across the world, and you're going to see some of them in this next session. And of course, we have a very senior guest for the Indian perspective as well. Without further ado, I want to quickly go across and introduce my next panel. We have with us now Saidullah M. Marikar, Member of Parliament from Sri Lanka. Could I please have you on stage, sir? We also have Babaji, Honorable Babaji Balakrishnan, Member of Parliament from Mauritius with us. Also with us is Mr. Deepak Prakash Bhatt. He is former Member of Parliament, Nepal. Let's keep the applause going for our next panel. His Excellency Chantavong Senior Math Montri is also with us, Member of the National Assembly, Lao PDR. Honorable Mikhail Ahmed Naseem, also with us, Member of Parliament from the Maldives. And this panel, in fact, is going to be moderated by Sri Ram Madhavji. We're privileged to have you, and this time in a moderator avatar. President India Foundation. It's going to be a very interesting conversation. Sri Madhavji, I hand the floor over to you.
Thank you. Friends, welcome to a very interesting session. We have representatives, people's representatives from 5 of our neighbors. Of course, 3 of them are our immediate neighbors, Nepal, Sri Lanka and Maldives, and 2 are our extended neighbors, Lao PDR and Mauritius. Ideally, as it was mentioned, this session should have been conducted by one of the Newsx people. But I was brought and put in the position of moderator of this session. I welcome all our esteemed guests to this session. Friends, we have about, I think, 25-30 minutes time in front of us. We have the clock before us. Friends, we all know that all the 5 countries are very important neighbors for us. India has not just G2G, G2B ties, government to government and government to business or business to business ties.